Good evening, this is Craig from Abandoned Lighthouse Games, and I'm going to do a series of videos quickly explaining a little bit about Devoured, our solo narrative sort of horror adventure game. And basically this is the setup, so I'll take you through the setup. So basically what you got here is you've got level 1, so level 1 is Belly of the Beast, and it's all set out ready to go. And basically you're going to wake up and you're not going to know anything about yourself, and what you're going to do is you're going to move through this game, exploring this strange land, finding out all sorts of stuff about yourself, not really knowing what's going on. And as the game progresses, hopefully you're going to learn a bit more about yourself. During that adventure, you're going to be battling various beasts and discover various secrets about yourself and your surroundings. And so this is how it'll start. In this game, I'll quickly explain the board. What you have here is you have your Valor board over here and your Vice board. Now your Valor board is kind of like your energy or what you need to get through the game, and that consists of mind, body and spirit cubes. Cubes are your main, they're not like a currency, but that on this side they're like your main energy throughout the game, and you'll be using these cubes in combat, and I'll explain that when we come to it. Over on this side we have your Vice board. So this is more your needs and these are more your wants. Your Vice board, you have such things as armor, you have weapons, you have advanced knowledge, which I explain. You have some extra things up here, which I don't need to go into right now. You have your spirit cube, which I'll talk about later. You have your exit item, which I'll put back over there. So this is these two boards are kind of your main boards. In the center, you have your journal. So when you wake up, you'll wake up with this journal. And on this journal, you have your health. And on here, you have your evade cubes. And again, that's a mechanic that we can explain as we go through the game. Over here, you have your weapons cards. Like through the game, you'll be using various weapons. And these are basically operated using cubes as well. The whole game runs using the system of cubes, which I'll explain to you as we go. So you have some various weapons here. You've got some cool stuff here that you can use throughout the game, and they're all numbered, and they will go with certain cards that you draw from there. So we'll put those back. You have up here, you have your enemy cards, and these will work alongside these cards as well. You'll draw a card and it will tell you an enemy that you will have to battle, and it will be numbered as well. So on the back here you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies in this particular level, and these are the things you'll be drawing and having to battle. And exactly the same way, these enemies will use the cube system, and you'll use your cubes to defeat these particular enemies, and you'll gain certain tokens for doing it, certain cubes for doing it. I'll explain them when we get to them. So that is your enemy cards, and they stay here. Okay. Over here we have your main play area, and we have your level. Basically in this box here you will have 6 levels, and you draw the first level out. Once it's sorted, you'll take the red card from the top, and every level has a red card to indicate level 1. Up here we've got level 1. You'll place that in the middle, and then you'll just shuffle the rest of the cards, and you will deal them round the main card. And there you go. And these are kind of like your directions. So you can think of that: up, down, left, right, north, south, east and west. And I'll explain that. So that's that set up now. Okay. Over here, we have something called the Fate Bag. Now within the Fate Bag, we have cubes again. We have 4 black and 4 yellow cubes. Yellow cubes are miss, black cubes are hit. And this is all to do with battle as well. So I should put them back in the bag. At the moment there's 4 and 4, so that bag is 50-50. Fate is completely even. So that's that Fate Bag. I'll place this to one side and we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, over here we have our cube tray, and these are just for your extra cubes. In the cards you may gain some health, or you may gain some spirit, in which case you'll take it from this box and add it to your Valor board. Your Valor board has a big pool, and has 3 little power pools. This is basically just a way for you to make it easier for you to keep track of what you have. You'll start off with 10 of each cube. So I put 5 of each cube into the smaller ones and the other 5 in here. And I'll take from these cubes, I'll take from these circles, power circles, and I'll replace them from the pool. If I win any cubes, I'll put them into the pool. And so on. And when the pool is empty, you know you're down to your last 5 of each cube. And then when those are empty, then you're into all sorts of trouble. But we'll talk about that as we get to that as well. Okay, so we're all set up. We've had a brief explanation of the game. On here we have your advanced knowledge and your spirit flames. When we come to those cards in the main deck, during the first level, I'll explain those little bits as well. So that's your basic setup. It's a really nice, cool setup. It's really simple, and we're all ready to go. So the first thing we'll do now is you'll take your center card. On every level there's a center card, the red card at the back. Spin it round and that explains what this level's a bit about. So I'll read this first one out. So the first level is Belly of the Beast. And these little symbols down here, some cards will have little cubes. The ones that have these little random symbols here, it just means they're narrative cards. They just explain the story a little bit. Okay, so you wake in darkness. The room around you is warm and filled with the sick stench of decay. You peel yourself from the floor and stand. You are dressed in rags, and your only possession is a small battered journal. Clutching the book to your pained stomach, you stumble forward. And stumbling forward, in this case, you can go 4 directions. So that is your main card, and this is the journal down here that you have picked up and you're walking with. So this is your main journal, which holds your health and your evade cubes, your advanced knowledge, and your spirit frame. So yeah, so we place that one down. First card, 4 directions. I can go any which way. So the first thing I'll try to do, I'll choose to go right. So we go right, and straight away, this is a really good card. This is, you scavenge a small piece of armor. Not much, but it should afford you some small protection in battle. So that's a fantastic card. I was explaining about fate earlier on. So at the moment, fate is 4 by 4. So 4 blacks, 4 whites. What an armor cube is another fate cube, basically. Another sort of a mist cube. The difference is the cubes within here, when you draw them during battle, they go back into the bag. When you draw a armor cube, it will act as a miss, but it is discarded back. But at the moment, we'll place it into the fate bag, and now we have 5 misses, 4 hits. So fate is in your favour at the moment. And we'll use that in a minute when we get to the actual battles. So there we go, we placed fate to one side. So we dealt with our first armor cube. That came out of our vice board. And that's in here. Okay, so we're good to go. In this card, we can go 4 directions as well. As you can see on the top, on these little arrows here, we can go left, right, up and down. This little symbol here just tells you what level you're on. So when you're doing the sort out, this little symbol here means you're on level 1 and Belly of the Beast. And all the Belly of the Beast cards have this little symbol on there. Okay, so we're going to go down this time. Again, another piece of narrative, a little narrative symbol there. I'm not going to read that because it'll spoil it. So we'll just put that down and we can go with this one, left, right, or up. So let's go up. Fantastic. Okay, this is a good find. So this is a spirit candle. The spirit candle allows you a moment of calm contemplation. As you think about all you have seen and learned, you feel you have gained a fresh awareness and understanding of your situation. Now, hidden within every level is one of these cards. And this is your sort of spirit candle, your flame of awareness. And that's this little cube here. Basically, that then goes onto your spirit flame in your journal. And I found one, so that goes there. Now, this is a very important card. Basically, this will dictate your ending. There's 6 different endings in the game. The more of these you find, the better the ending. So you want to try and find all 6 of these to get the best ending. So one buried in each level. But it's sometimes not that easy. I mean, sometimes you'll have to really sort of work hard to find these. You might be very low in energy. You might find the exit and you might be able to get out, but you'll be lacking one of these. And you might, if you're fighting for that best level, you'll want to try and find these. And all these little bits I can explain a little bit as we go on. But at the moment, we've done well. We found the spirit candle. So we found, there's only 1 per level. So we found that one. So we gained a spirit. The great thing about spirit flame as well is it also counts as almost like a resurrection stone. So if you die on a level, and you probably will later on, you can use a spirit flame to resurrect yourself to have another go on that level. But you can only do that once a level, so it's nice to gather as much spirit flames from the early levels as you can, because it gets more difficult as you go along. Okay, so spirit flames giving us 4 directions. Let's go left. Oh, fantastic. So, or not so great, so I won't read the narrative, but basically on this one here, I lose 1 body, but I gain a spirit. So in amongst the cards, there's sort of traps and things that you can gain and lose various valor cubes. So we'll put that back down there, and we lose 1 body, so that we lose 1 body, that goes into the tray, but we gain 1 spirit, and that comes back out the tray, and we put that into our pool. Okay, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad a card. Okay, and off we go again. So we got left or up. So let's go up. Up. Okay, this is not so great either. So I've lost 1 health. Put that one down there. Lose 1 health. This is my health chart. It starts at 10. And I'll go down to 9 now. I can gain above 10. And it's these 2 little red cubes here. So you can get a maximum of 12 health. At the moment, we're at 9 because we just lost 1. Okay, fantastic. Right. Where should we head now? We're still searching for something. And I'm going to tell you at this point, in every level, there is an exit item and an exit. Now we need to find the exit item and the exit to leave the level. The spirit flame is a bonus. If you want the great level ending, then you get the spirit flame. So we have the spirit flame so far. So we've got one of the main items in here. So we're going to search about. We want to find the exit item and the exit. So we'll go up here. And we've gained health. That's cool. So that will go back up to 10. Left or right? We'll go right here. Right, cool. This is a great card. So this will be a good way to explain a couple of things. So this here is a enemy card. So still clad in partially eroded armor, the digested knight lurches towards you, swinging his corroded sword wildly. You did this, he cries. Like on battle cards or combat cards, you'll have you'll have this symbol mainly. You'll have this, and this corresponds with your monster cards. And if you can see, that monster card has a 1 with a scratch, which matches that. So we know we have to take that and turn that one round, and that will be our digested knight. And as you can see, we've got some of these little cubes on there, so I can explain how that works now. I'll just place this down. But also on this one, you'll notice there's a little weapon. And that is the weapon. This particular enemy has a weapon. And it is number 1. So we go to number 1, which is there. And that's the same symbol. So we flick that round. And there we go. There's his corroded sword. Now, that is the weapon he has. I'll place that down next to the card. Now, I can't have that weapon yet. I have to win that weapon. So I have to beat him to win that weapon. Let me just place this card down. Right, so I have no weapons at the moment, so this is a good way to explain combat. Okay, so during combat, this is when you'll be using your Valor cubes and some of your Vice cubes if you have them, and even the Fate bag. On this particular battle, I'm going to take you through all the combinations you can do with battle. Even though this is a particularly easy enemy, you won't have to do any of these sorts of things till later on. I'll just show you the basics, and then I'll show you what you could do. So the first and easiest way to deal with one of these cards is if you look at every single combat card in the corner, they'll have what you can win from the battle. So for this instance, we know we're going to win that sword, we're going to win that weapon. Over on this side, this is what we need to defeat him. So we need to cover the enemy's cubes with our own, well, on this one, it's body and spirit and weapon. Now, I haven't got a weapon at the moment, so I can't cover that. So that's a great way to show you how Fate works. So what I'll do for this one is I'll show you basically what I do. The easiest way is I'd have to cover each round. So on here, we have 5 rounds of combat. He's quite a weak baddie, so we're only going to have 2 rounds of combat to cover. As the level goes on, as the game goes on, they get more and more, and they get harder and harder, and there's more rounds of combat. But this one's only got 2. So we'll place that one down. Okay, so we have on this one, 2 body, 2 spirit, and 2 weapons to cover. So let's cover the body. 2 greens. So we take 2 greens out of our valor and we place them on the card there, and we cover those 2 greens. Fantastic. We got 2 spirit, which is the 2 white cubes. We take those little 2 and we cover the spirit on that card. Now we have 2 weapons. Now we don't have a weapon yet, so we can't cover those cubes. So there's one way we have to deal with that. That means we'll have to go for fate. Now if we had our own weapon, for instance, if we had this weapon beforehand, when you get a weapon, you automatically load it up with 2 of the silver cubes from here. So that becomes armed, and you can use that in combat. But at the moment, we haven't got that. So now we have to go to fate to do these 2. So the combat begins. So round 1, we have 1 body, 1 spirit, and 1 we can't cover. So we have to draw a cube from the fate bag to see what happens with the 1 we can't cover. So we're in there, we haven't got any silver cubes, so we can't cover that. So we rely on fate, we put our hand in there, and we draw a black cube. Now when you draw a black cube, you have to place that down there, on there, and that is a hit, and that takes us down to 9. Okay, the first round is done. I then take the cube, the fate cube, put it back into the bag, and I go to the second round of combat, and I have to draw 1 from there as well to cover the silver cube. And I've drawn a miss. So that's cool. So the miss cube goes down there, and I don't take no damage for that. And the card is now complete. Miss cube goes into the bag, and these get discarded. So we won the battle. And it was all good. We won the battle. We got rid of the cubes that we used on there. So we lost a little bit of body. We lost a bit of spirit. But that enemy is defeated, and we've won his sword. We'd win his sword, so we take that sword. We'd put 2 silver cubes on that. And that would go down here. And that is our weapon that we can use in combat now. Now, that weapon also has something called advanced knowledge on there. Advanced knowledge are these orange cubes. And throughout this adventure, you can pick up advanced knowledge. When you learn a little bit about your situation, and you'll learn that through the narrative, you get rewarded with advanced knowledge. And advanced knowledge you can use to enhance your weapon. So for instance, if I want an advanced knowledge cube, I would place it onto the weapon on the orange plus sign, and I would gain 3 extra cubes. So that's how it works. On this card, I'd get the 2 silver cubes already. I'd add the orange orange advanced knowledge, and that would equal me gaining another purple and 2 greens. It makes the weapon stronger, and these are extra cubes that I can use in battle. At the moment, I have lots of cubes. The game is pretty early on, but level 2, 3, that becomes quite essential. It's really nice to be able to load up your weapons. So we've won that weapon on there. So that would be that way. The other way, let's just do combat again. So we'll take that off. Say we haven't done that. Say we haven't beat him. Say, for instance, later on in the game, we'd been decimated. We had hardly any cubes left on here, which can happen. And we could only cover, say we had only 1 spirit cube and we had none of the rest. So we got 1 spirit cube, and say we had 1 weapon cube. Say we had a weapon and it had 1 silver cube left in it. We take that off and that weapon would then get discarded. We can talk about that later. So that's it. So we could only cover those 2 cubes in battle. So what we'd have to do then is we'd have to draw fate on the first one. On the first round, there's 2 cubes we can't cover. So we'd have to draw 2 cubes. So we go into the fate bag, we take 1, and that'd be a hit. So we place that on there. And then we'd have to draw another cube, and that's another hit. 2 hits on that level, we'd have to go down 8 to 7. Then we take the 2 the 2 hit cubes and place them back in the bag. First round of combat's done. Second round, exactly the same thing. We can only cover 1, so we'd have to draw 2. So we take out 1 black. That's another hit, and one miss. So then I have to go down 1 more in my energy to 6, and then put my miss and hit cube backs. I would then discard these 2 cubes here, my weapon and my spirit, and that would be defeated. So that's kind of how the fate bag works. At the moment we have an armor cube in there, so fate goes to our side a little bit. If I'd drawn the armor cube out, that wouldn't have gone back into the bag. That had been cast aside into my valor board. So that's it. So we've done that combat. So we did it. We won it. So we take that. We load it up with two silver cubes. There we go. And we have no advanced knowledge yet. And we still don't have our exit or our exit item. But we've done a little bit of combat. I've shown you how to win a weapon. Now we'll continue on with the journey. That's defeated, so that just stays there. Let's see. So let's go down. We'll go down and we gain +1 spirit and health. So that's a good card. I'll just read this one out. The smell here is not so bad. You linger for a moment to rest. Beneath your shallow breathing, you hear something bubble in the walls. Checking your pockets, you find some scattered seed. So you've just found something in your pockets. You've got yourself some health and some spirit because you chirped up because you found something helpful. So you'll go into the tray. You'll take that spirit out and put it into your pool. And we go up to 7. Our energy would go up and that card goes into the center. And we can go left and right with that card. So let's go right. And right's fantastic. So from a pool of bile juts a partially decaying hand. The fingers clutch a blunt but savage-looking club. You break the weapon free. Perhaps it will come in handy. So that's fantastic. So then we'll go to the weapons pile here. We'll take number 2 because that matches with that. And that is a weapon we've gained without battle. You can hold up to 2 weapons. So we've got a savage club now. That would be placed down there. We can hold 2 weapons. Instantly we'd load that up with 2 silver cubes because that's the power of that weapon. So with weapons, when it's loaded up, as long as you have silver cubes, you can use that weapon. As soon as the 2 silver cubes are used up, the weapon is damaged and it is discarded. But we're in a good position now. We have 2 good weapons, we've got plenty of energy. We're still looking for our way out, but we're in a good position. We've found our spirit flame. We're just going to try and find our way out of here now. Right. Okay, right is another battle. So I'm going to quickly go through that one. So we have a battle, so I'll quickly show you how the weapons work. So the battle is number 4. So we'll go to card number 4. And we take this out. So a wraith-like shape emerged from the gloom. Her sacrificial gown is in tatters. The flesh of her skin peeled to the bone. Screaming, the Skin Maiden reaches for your throat. So that's the Skin Maiden. Lovely. And there she is in all her glory. In there you can see the sort of cross means we gain nothing from this battle. She's a little bit tougher, but nothing we can't really handle at this stage. We'll place that on top of that card. There's no weapons to be gained from this. We'll place that back into the middle. Okay, so on this one, she doesn't actually have a weapon. She doesn't, so we can't use our weapon to beat her. We could have used, if we had an advanced knowledge cube and we had some extra, so if we had an advanced knowledge cube and we had gained those extra cubes, we could use the extra cubes to beat her in battle. But at the moment, we don't have an advanced knowledge cube, so that goes there. We've just got 2 weapons we can't really use because she hasn't got anything to fight. Basically, it's what we need to beat her, and we don't need a weapon to beat her. So what we need to do is cover that with mind, body, and spirit. So on this one, we've got two mind, 2 body, 1 spirit. We'll just cover them because we have them anyway. So I'll go down to here. 1. I'll take 1 from the pool. So we've got 2 there. I'll take 2 mind cubes and 1 spirit cube. Okay. And while I'm here, I'll just fill these back up again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 cubes in that. 1, 2, 5 in the mind, and we only have 4 body cubes. So that's kind of why we've got the little circles, so we can keep track of that. So when we know we're lacking body a bit, so we want to try and sort of find a bit of that. And there's sort of certain spells in here that can help you do stuff like that. There is an actual spell that allows you to flip cubes and change them any way you want. It's called Transpose, but we haven't found that yet. That could be within one of these decks somewhere. So now we're just going to mosey on through quite quickly, so just to see what we can find. That would be another battle, so you know how the battle works kind of in this video. It's a rough video. And so we go maybe right with there. That's a little bit of narrative. Right again, some more narrative. Ah, cool. So on this side, what we have here, in every deck, there is this, and it is called a vision card. A vision card is a great card. It's a card that you pick up and you hold, and you can use at any point during the game. And basically what this does, just as the card will describe, it tells you this bird, this vision bird you see, lights your way. It means you can go north, south, east, west, up, down, left and right, but you can turn those cards over. So for instance, if I was wanting to use this card, I'd place that in the middle like so, and it means that I can then turn this card, this card, this card and this card, and it showed me the way. Now in this level it's not so bad, but as I get on further on in the game, it's really nice to know where you're going. If your energy's low, you can use this card so you don't come across any enemies. Now for this instance, I know that going down would mean that there's a battle there, but there's an exit card to the right, and that's fantastic. That's what we want really. We want the exit card, and then we just have to find, we have the exit item here. Now we just have to find the exit. The problem with this though is if we take this exit item, if we go this way, it does mean that there's no cards in that direction anymore. So if we draw a card and the only direction arrow on there is that way and we can't go that way, it means we have to evade using the evade cube to go back one card. And if you use an evade cube at any point, it goes into the fate bag for that reason. Now there's a way you can use evade cubes in battle, and I'll show you that. That'll be the last thing I'll show you. But so what we'll do, we'll just take that anyway. So we've got our exit item. So that would be this little gold cube. So we take our exit item. I'm going to place it onto the padlock, and that card would go on top of that. So now my vision card's gone, and I've also exposed myself on this direction. But I have my exit item. I know the exit has got to be somewhere. Right. What I'm going to basically do is I'm actually going to go down and show you how to use an evade cube during battle. So for instance, we're going this way. So we went down. We'd have a look at this baddie, and this baddie is number 6. So we go find number 6. Number 6. We turn that baddie round. This is a particularly weak baddie. It's not one you'd probably evade normally, but we'll just do that anyway. So for instance, say that I couldn't cover that. My energy was low, and I just didn't want to risk battling that for the moment. What you can then do is you can just put that to one side. You take one of your little black evade cubes from here, and that goes on top of that card, and the battle card goes with it. So those cards go together. I've now evaded that. I can go back to the card I started, and that stays evaded. Now that stays evaded to the end of the level. At the end of the level, when I get myself my exit, I can then leave the level. But this is unresolved. So before I leave the level, I've got the choice to go back and battle this beast here. Now, if I don't want to do that, that's fine. But what happens then is that evade cube then goes into the fate bag. And that doesn't come out. That stays in it to the end of the game. The more times you evade, the more fate goes against you. So that's a really nice little mechanism there. So what you want to do, I'll evade that just now. I'll carry on. At the end of the level, I would decide, do I take that risk? Do I battle the beast, or do I evade it because it's too powerful? Later on in the game, there's some extremely powerful beasts. Sometimes you evade, sometimes it might be wise to stay evaded and just take that chance and have fate sort of go against you a little bit, rather than lose all your cubes in one huge battle, which can be done with some of the more powerful beasts. Okay, for that instance though, so we evaded that. We'll carry on evading that. We got the exit. We can't go right because we have nowhere to go. So we can go up because that makes sense, because we turned that code around, and there we got our first advanced knowledge cube. That orange cube down there. You make your way through what appears to be a tunnel. How did you get here? You remember a ceremony. A great gust of fetid wind screams, and then darkness. Gain 1 advanced knowledge. So we put that down there, and that is our first advanced knowledge cube, this little orange cube. Now, that can go in our journal, in our advanced knowledge. You see down here. But we have 2 weapons here. So the first thing I would do is I take that advanced knowledge, I place it into, which weapon shall I have? I'll place it into my corroded sword there. And from that, I've gained myself a mind and 2 body cubes. And these stay on top of your weapon just here. I don't know, hopefully you can see that from the camera. And so that is a fully loaded weapon now. That evade cube is now stuck with that. It's sort of bound to that weapon. So when that weapon's gone, the evade cube and all the other cubes get discarded. But now I have some extra weapons in battle, which is quite good. So let's see, I didn't do this. Did I? Let's get rid of these ones. The Skin Maiden. I can't remember if I dealt with her. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's not important. Okay, so we're still looking for a direction. We're still looking for our exit item. We know it's not that way. Well, it might be that way, but we're going to try and go up for this one. Up. So that would be another battle. So we'll just place that to one side. Presume that we've won that battle. Just get rid of a couple of cubes. Just to say because we probably would have lost a couple in the battle. You can go left. I'll take that card. That was a seeing card. That gains me 1 health. So I'll go up 1. I can go left or right. Obviously can't go right. Still nothing there. So we go left. That would be another battle. We'll put that one there. We can go up or down. Down. Fantastic. So what we've done now is we've gained ourselves a spell. And this spell is called Restoration. So once a level, if I draw on this particular spell, if I draw myself an armor cube from the bag, which we know we've got one in there, I can then repair it and put it back in there. And that's the only way that otherwise it's discarded. And I can do that once a level. So that's a really handy card. And the spell card is just like your vision cards. It's something you keep. So that stays to one side. I'll just place that down here. So I now have that. I can use that spell when I need it once a level. Okay, so we're running out of ways to go. Let's go. Damn. I have to go down. And that's a bit of narrative. Oh, so now we have an arrow. We can only go up. Luckily, we've got a card there. And that's a bit of narrative. Now, this wouldn't normally happen in the first level. You wouldn't normally get into this sort of situation. But let's just say we can't go left or right. So we'd have to evade that cube. So we'd have to take an evade cube. That card is then put to one side, evaded until the end of the level. Okay. Right. There's nothing I can do about that card. It's not a battle. There's nothing I can do about it. So it's put to one side, and the cube is then added into the fate bag at the end of the level. So I know now, I'll put that to one side. I know that I'm going to gain, well, some disadvantage at the end of the level. Okay, so, and I had to go back one and evade a cube. I had to go back, and I still can't go left. So I'd have to evade that one, and this would happen very rarely. And that would have to be evaded. And again, I still can't go left, so that would have to be evaded. So I lost 3 evade cubes straight away. This might happen right at the end of it, but it would never happen in this situation. You wouldn't let it get to that sort of position. So I can now go right, and there we go. We found the exit item. The exit item is found, and there's a little bit of stuff about a climbing equipment. So I found the exit item. That goes there. Fantastic. So I've got the exit item. I found the exit. I know I've got the exit item because it's over here. I've got the spirit flame, so I've got the flame. I need to go out. I'm leaving the level with a couple of good weapons and a spell. In this, because we set it up that way, we've lost lots of evade cubes. That would be a terrible situation to be in. But all 3 of those evade cubes then would be put in. Sorry, yeah, is it 3 cards we evaded? Yeah, I think it was 3. They would go into here. So they would be put into the fate bag, and it would be heavily against you. And then I have the choice now of whether I would take on the baddie or evade it. Obviously, if I was in this position, I would take it on. I would cover that baddie with purple, green, and white. that baddie is beat, I would get my evade cube back and put it into my journal. I'd discard those 3, and from that card, I would gain 2 spirit. And that would be from here, from the little tray, I gain 2 spirit. And that would be me done. That would be the level done. I pack this up, then I go into the box, and that's Belly the Beast was done. And then I go into the box, and we're at Heart of the Matter next. And I take that level out. And that's basically roughly how you play it, with most of the rules sort of covered. There's a few bits here and there, but I don't want to go too deep into it and spoil it. Obviously, we had the evade cube. We kind of forced that situation. We forced a few more situations, but hopefully that'll give you an idea of how the game works. It's a lot of fun. It becomes very tactical when you're using the spells. There's some other tactical cards in there. What the card you didn't see in there was one of the last cards is to counteract the vision card. We have something called the Beast card. The Beast card, again, is a scene card, that and a vision card. So when I was dealing it out, I knew where this was. And that doesn't matter. That's a good thing. You want to try and avoid this card if you can. But this card may be buried in your exit. But when you see this, there are spells where you can avoid it. But when you basically see this, this is a very powerful beast. And if you have to take it on, then you have to go straight to Fate Bag. And you basically just have to draw 4 Fate cubes and hope that you draw like all misses, basically, because what happens is it will go to your health. So if you draw 4 evade black hit cubes, you'll have to take 4 off your health. If you draw 2, and you'd have to take 2. It's that sort of deal. So that's a card you can't really sort of do anything with. You've got a spell that you can avoid it with, but you want to try and avoid that. And that's one of these in every single pack. And that can become really quite annoying sometimes. It's just, you know that your exit card might be under it, and you have to sort of battle it, and you might have low energy. So you have to sort of hopefully rely that you've got some armor in your Fate Bag, or hope that fate is on your side. And that's kind of a big deal when you're towards the end of the levels, when you get into the big sort of ending monsters and you've got a beast to deal with as well. That's why it's extremely important at that point to keep your spell, because you have a beast card spell, but I think you can only use that once, and your vision cards, so you can see where these things, sorry, not see where those things are, so you can see where the powerful baddies are, because at some point it might be better to go through a beast than it might be to go through an extremely powerful enemy, and there are some very powerful enemies in there. So there's a lot of tactics, a lot of ways to play. There's a lot of different ways to play, because although we have the standard narrative mode, once you sort of get through the game, if you get through it, there's 6 different endings, so you want to try and get the best ending. But if you get through that and you read all the narrative and you get familiar with the narrative, there's a scoring mode in there where it's about gathering as much resources and keeping hold of them as you can and getting as high a score as you can. We have a mode that makes it slightly easier, so if the beast gets in the way a bit, if it's not your thing, if it makes it a bit too difficult, we've got an easy mode which works with the scoring mode. It means we take the beast cards out and leave the vision cards in there, so it's a little bit easier to get through. And then there's a hard mode where we leave the beast cards in and take all the vision cards out. That's really tricky. And with that mode also on the journal, if you flick the journal over, there is a beast mode on the journal to make it even harder, which gives you very limited energy, only 2 evades. You know, it's tough. I've never ever got nearer to beating the game on this mode. I've done it a few times on the beast mode, and I can't get through it. It can be done. I'm sure it can be done. I've come very close, but I've had a bit of bad luck at the end. But I would be really, really interested to see if anybody gets through this game on the beast mode. Even with the vision card and the beast card, if you can get through that, that would be pretty impressive. That means you've had some good tactics and you've had a little bit of luck as well on your side. Not me. It hasn't happened to me yet. Okay. Great, so that was basically it. So we had the armor cubes, we explained a little bit about the weapons. Here we have 4 jewels. I can't really say much about them, but further in the game, you'll find out what these 4 jewels are. They're to assist you as the game goes on. There's another couple of little hidden secrets in there that I don't really want to say too much about. But that's basically it. That is Devoured, sort of